What's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and welcome to a very special episode of the People's Questions, episode 61. I cannot believe I finally did it, but I actually have more episodes of my Q&A show than the very person who inspired 3TR. And as I promised last week, if you want to know who that is, I've actually left a link down to their channel, to their episode 60 video, and please feel free to thank them for inspiring 3TR, although my responses have never seemed to get through. And now, I'd also like to thank the winner of Flash Friday's contest question, which it was really close between two people, but in the end, Mr. Zook Z got the answer right with, or closest, with his guess of 66 pounds for that poster there, and the actual answer was 60.5 pounds. So congratulations. I will be sending your contest question card probably sometime later today after I get back from seeing G.I. Joe. And without rambling anymore, it's time to get to you guys' questions because I actually got a lot of really great ones. The first two come from Fortrix Man, and you wanted to know, what do I think of the Injustice Gods Among Us roster? I'm actually very, very impressed with it because I believe more than half of the list that I actually made of the top 10 characters that I wanted to see added to the roster were actually added. So I'm convinced that perhaps the guys at NetherRealm Studios saw my video and added a majority of my list, because there were actually a number of characters I didn't think they'd add, like Raven, which was a major surprise for me, and Doomsday and Bane, although I didn't get the Bane I wanted, but Bane's cool. And your next question is, what characters do I think are going to main the game? I've actually been reading the digital comic books, and it seems that Superman is going to end up being the main villain, since for those of you who have not read the storyline Red Sun, of what happens if, Superman was raised in Russia, it's kind of going in the same direction, except it's more due to the fact that Superman made a major screw-up, and if he was just going around taking charge, maybe this thing wouldn't happen. And obviously Batman is against it, and he's going to try to recruit some of the members of the Justice League to go on his side. Superman's going to start doing the same, and you're actually going to be seeing some villains teaming up with the good guys and some good guys teaming up with the bad guys, so that's going to be really cool to see. The next question comes from Wario Chemicase, and you wanted to know, what do I think about Final Fantasy X-2 being sold with the Final Fantasy X HD? Now, I'm actually not ashamed to say this, but I'm actually probably one of the few hardcore Final Fantasy fans that actually likes both games. No, X-2 wasn't a perfect game. It had its fair share of problems, but I really liked it. I liked it a lot more than some of the other spin-offs, and damn sure a lot more than 13, but, that's a video for another time. And it makes general sense. I don't think there's ever been a strictly HD remastering that was just one game. I mean, you look back to the Sly franchise, Ratchet & Clank, God of War, Splinter Cell, Tomb Raider, they all don't just come with one game. They usually add a couple of games. So the fact that they're adding X-2 along with the package, I'm not surprised. I just hope they give it the same treatment and put that in HD as well. I don't want it to just be a cheap, rendering of this. Next two questions come from Wolfman4433, and you wanted to know, what do I think will be announced at this year's E3? Well, as I've said many times, I'm actually hoping to go. Hopefully, I think we'll see, I hope will be announced, is first we'll see the official PlayStation 4 hardware. They'll give us a price range, and I'm not sure if they gave us an official date. They said sometime in November. I'd like an official date, as maybe some more information talking about the new Metal Gear that was just announced the other day. On the Xbox part, I don't really know. Maybe they'll announce Halo 5 or another Halo game or another Gears game. I heard Judgment wasn't all that great. And in terms of Nintendo Wii, or Nintendo Wii U, I'm actually not interested in Nintendo anymore. It's kind of ventured far into that we want to find a crazy way to make games. And from what I've heard, a lot of people aren't really liking the Wii U all that much, and it just doesn't have any games to draw on hardcore gamers. They want to make it for the family and not for the individual gamer. You need to convince the individual gamer to get your product before you can start expanding to an audience which is not interested in gaming at all, because eventually they're going to get bored of it. And your next question was, what are my thoughts on Assassin's Creed 3 Tyranny of King Washington? I'll be honest, I was just really appalled by what I saw in that DLC. I didn't buy it and I didn't play it. But the fact that a bunch of developers actually want to come up with an idea of making a what-if scenario with the founding father of the United States of America is just a bit insulting to me. I mean, if you're going to come up with a stupid what-if scenario like that, then, you know, what if Jesus Christ was actually the son of the devil? What if Martin Luther King was a racist? What if JFK actually wanted to initiate nuclear war? I mean, why don't you come up with these stupid what-if scenarios? The only what-if scenarios that I like to hear are ones that are a bit interesting, not insulting to the very man who you are making a what-if scenario for, because that's just pointless. So, and I heard there was a lot of stupid extra abilities with the new character they were using, so, again, I didn't like it, not going to play it, not interested into it. The next two questions come from Criticism Guy 2009, and you want to know, will I be able to go to PAX East next year? You know, if you actually remind me about that, about around that time next year, I'll see if I can make plans for it, because I will most likely be in school at the time, so I'll have to see if I can make some extra time, and you know, I have to fly all the way out there. So, if you remind me around that time next year, like a good month or two in ahead, then I'll definitely make plans, and I'll do my best to see if I can go to PAX East next year. And your next question is, what are my thoughts on Magnus being put on tablets? I think that's a solid idea. Most people have tablets that I know of. Not to say that there's anything wrong with having hard copies of comics, because depending on what comic it is, whether I want a digital copy or an actual copy. But overall, Magnets are a bit big to carry, and if you just have your tablet, then you can do more than just read. You can do a whole bunch of other things. So the fact that you have a mobile device and can still read, I think is an effective way. However, it just depends on if you prefer a hard copy or a digital copy. For me, as I've said before, it really just depends on the actual Magna book itself as for which I want a hard copy or a digital copy. And the last question comes from Slowrider 1978. And you want to know, if there was any movie world I would want to visit, what would it be? Movie world. I'd like to go to Toon World from Roger Rabbit. I mean, I'm not sure if that counts, but I don't know, just getting a chance to hang out with all my favorite cartoon characters from both Warner Bros. And Disney seems like a fun adventure, as long as none of them drop a piano on my head. And for those who have actually seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about. And with that, that is all the questions that you guys sent me this week. Again, I'd like to thank you guys for sending them in. You guys keep this show going, and hopefully we might blow my Inspirator out of the water with these videos. And now to get on to this week's contest question. Now this one, since Metal Gear recently was announced, I'm actually going to use another Metal Gear question. So for those of you who have actually played Metal Gear, this might be easy for you, so it might be a test of time and who can actually answer it the fastest. And the question I want you guys to answer is, how does Ocelot determine judgment on a person? Simple question. How does Ocelot determine judgment on a person? If you think you know the answer, please comment it down below or send me in a personal message. And whoever gets the answer right first will get their choice of a PlayStation or Network gift card. And if you like this video, please like, comment down below, and please subscribe to keep track of me and my future movie and video game reviews. And like always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.